Previously on the Thursday Nassau Morning Madhouse.
You're a waiter at a restaurant, and there are two customers coming in.
Hey, I'm a waiter at a restaurant. Oh, look at this. 2 customers coming in. Come on down, guys. Take a seat. What do you want? Oh, that's very good. I wouldn't recommend that. That's a bad meal. All right, I'll be back with your food. By the way, I'm a waiter.
I think, Justin, that you are a very good movie critic.
Yeah, not an actor?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, all right. So what? They don't think I could be an actor? Yo, whatever. I'll show them. You're gonna get in there, and you're gonna give them hell. Because I love you. And you're my brother. Because I'm your husband, and I love you. That's why I'm talking to you like this. He's dead. He died in the war. Don't you understand? But I got his diamonds, and that's gonna prove everybody that I am the real brother.
And the Academy Award for Best Actor goes to Justin Greenberg for The Dragon in My Heart.
I just want to thank everyone for this award, except the Thursday Morning Madhouse. They are bullies. I hate them. I just hate them.
This is the Nassau Morning Madhouse.
All right, hour number 2 of the Nassau Morning Madhouse here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It's 8:17 as we're already experiencing some issues. It is Liam, Justin, Sandy, Nico, and Addison. That was a candle?
Yeah.
Okay. It's time for your WHBC weather forecast, powered by Pantano's Gourmet, with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. 50 degrees is the high today, with a 70% chance of rain. 58 degrees the high tomorrow, with cloudy skies, and currently it is 47 and cloudy in Garden City. So we talked about it a little bit before, but it is here now, or he is here now. We are joined by stand-up comedian and TikTok star Chris Cox. He's got a total of 800,000 followers on TikTok.
That's it?
How many does the sheriff have? Where are you at?
The sheriff is at 16,000.
Are you sure? Last I checked, he was at like 2 million.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't checked in a while. We got to do a collab. I got a character on TikTok. We'll work on something.
I'll check it out. I like it. I like the idea.
So Chris also has over 100,000 followers on Instagram. He was at the Governor's Giggle Room in Levittown last week, and on Sunday he's going to be at the OSNYC on Bowery in downtown Manhattan. And he joins us in studio today on the Nassau Morning Madhouse. First of all, Chris, thank you for coming on.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for waking up early and getting here. It's a lot better than some people who are supposed to be on this show.
Right?
You know.
Nico, Sandy.
I got here before.
Wow, we're getting called out.
I'm sensing some tension.
There's a lot of tension.
And then some people on some other shows, some other days of the week, too.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. But, Chris, you are not embarrassing.
I am very embarrassed.
Are you?
Yeah, dancing in my brother's military uniform at 25 years old. That's very embarrassing.
At least that's like hilarious.
Yeah, for now. Until once I hit like 35, it's gonna be a little sad. But
I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm 35 years old, and I'm playing with action figures. I don't have a brother that's in the military, but I would still be doing that. So
yeah, to provide a little bit of background, Chris, was that like your first viral TikTok, you would say?
No, my first one was actually, it was 3 years ago yesterday.
Oh, wow,
or the
perfect
day before.
timing.
Yeah, it was a video where I like stole my sister's wig and I pretended to be Corbin Blues, like this whole thing.
Okay.
That one blew up a couple years ago, and then from there it's just been I don't even know. It's just like, almost cursed on the air. Whatever pops into my head, it just kind of rolls, and that's just how it's been for the past couple of years.
So that's the thing. You have an idea that pops. Do you execute every idea, or do you film some stuff and you're like, all right, this is not it?
No, that's a pretty rare occurrence, because I think whenever you have something already filmed, you should post it. That's like 98% of the time, I'll be like, it doesn't matter if this is crappy, like I'll just throw it out. But in terms of me posting or executing every idea, sometimes stuff just gets left on the back burner. Like, people give me ideas all the time. Sometimes I just don't get around to it, whether I'm busy or I just forget about it. So I try and write stuff down, and then I'll come back to it later. But when it's more like trending stuff, I try to get to that as soon as possible and try and just burn those out, because nowadays, like, you got to get that idea out when something's trending within like you got like 4 or 5 days max before it's
Really?
just out
Even
the
that
cycle.
long?
Yeah. Maybe 4. Yeah, 5 is like stretching it. 'Cause
Right.
It's like everything just moves so quick nowadays.
Something else is going to happen before. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, give us some background on you. Where'd you grow up? You're from Long Island, right? Mm-hmm. Where'd you grow up on Long Island?
So I am from Central Islip.
Okay.
Yeah. Been out there my entire life. Yeah, I mean, it's. I went to St. John the Baptist High School. I'm at Suffolk right now. So yeah, I mean, it's just been it.
So how'd you get into comedy? Did it start with TikTok? Did it start with wanting to do stand up? Like what was the I guess the springboard for you to get into comedy?
So if anything, TikTok kind of started moving me into stand up. I'd always saw myself doing stand up, but I never got into it. When I first started the same year that my TikTok started getting traction. I don't remember at this point if I was like, oh, I kind of have to do this now. Like I kind of have to get moving because like it's either now or never. But I just know that at that time it was within like a 4-month period where they both really just started taking off. I've seen myself doing stand up pretty much since I was like in high school. I had started writing, but I didn't do anything until I was like 21.
Did you take classes for stand-up? Because we had a guy that worked here that did stuff at the Levittown, the Governors. Is that something that you had to do or wanted to do?
Yeah, I did. I did take one of the classes. It wasn't too bad. It was cool. It gave me a decent amount of pointers, just get some groundwork and just get some footing in like what type of content I wanted to make as far as a comedian.
Is there stage fright? Because making a video... I've seen a lot of your videos, they're in your house or, they're not with an audience really watching it. What's the difference between, making a video where you're not going to be critiqued right away? You might get some comments, on the actual video, but that could be, weeks later. Having that direct, whether it's silence or cheering or booing, what is the difference? And, I'm sure you've bombed. Every comedian has bombed. How do you deal with that?
So, I mean, in the beginning, it was really tough. It's funny, too, because when you first start, you're doing, like, really small, like, basically open mics. But that's where the most fear is because it's a newer experience. But as you do it more and more, you're just like, yeah, okay, I bombed, so what? I'm going to get a beer. Like, you just roll with it. And now I do get nerves when I try, like, new stuff, per se. That's when the, I guess, quote-unquote, fear kind of comes in more than any other time, but it does get a lot easier over the years. Like you just crank out shows, you just do it over and over again. All right, that joke didn't work. All right, that bombed. Whatever it is, what it is. But also back to the point of the people on the internet saying mean things. It also depends on like your followers. So I have a pretty decent base of followers. Like they like me. Like my videos always end up on the right For You pages. It's not the same case for a lot of people. Like a lot of people do get that negative feedback on their videos when they're not even looking for it. And it's I feel like I've been lucky. Like I haven't gotten a lot of. Well, I may have gotten a couple death threats from the military stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's just TikTok.
Yeah.
You're gonna get death threats no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like for the most part, I have been lucky as far as like receiving this engagement. Like mine isn't too crazy.
I wish I could say the same. I was called Booger Man on my last video. I did pick my nose and eat a booger, but I mean, come on, that's just you can't call somebody Booger Man.
I think that's hilarious. I think we should start calling you worse.
Justin, if you post a video of yourself picking your nose and eating it,
yeah,
I think that's fair game.
I guess so.
If you roll with it, you could also turn that into like your branding. You
exactly.
could be Booger Man.
Well, there was
a superhero.
There was a video game in the '90s called Booger Man, so I might have to.
And what was the
Booger Boy?
I hate that you know that.
I just remember snot coming out of this character.
Sheriff Booger.
I don't know. We'll work on something. But as far as influences go, is there a specific comedian or even a TikTok star or actor or actress that's sort of influenced your style?
Baby Gronk.
Yeah, Baby Gronk, Livy Dunn.
The Rizzler.
It's just a bunch of just word vomit.
It's Skibbity Toilet, obviously. I can definitely see that in a lot of your content.
I would say comedians, not so much nowadays, but Dave Chappelle definitely when I started. He was very much a lot of inspiration. Chris Rock, and then as far as the internet side, like the content creation side, I'd probably say Caleb City. I think he had a lot to do with like the direction I went in the stuff that I make.
And the sheriff, of course. Yeah, the sheriff was a big
Oh,
influence.
obviously. Who wasn't inspired by the sheriff? He actually made the Times top 100 most influential people.
Yeah, he did. As far as your dream venue, because you've performed in various different venues, is there like an end goal? Is there like a Comedy Cellar or Caroline's, or even bigger like an arena? Is there like a place where you like set a goal, like I want to perform here, I want to see my name in the headlines there?
I'm not thinking that far out just yet. I feel like I just want to be more solidified in New York first. I feel like I got to get out of Long Island. Actually, I've only been in Manhattan a couple times. I've only performed in Manhattan a handful of times.
Well, New York, like New York City, is like the epicenter for comedy. All the greats, Colin Quinn's, the Dave Attell's, all these local dudes are icons in that area. And New York comics, I think, are the best by far. I don't know what it is, but
I think it speaks to just the type of people we have and just the environment.
Definitely.
The LA comics, though, are taking over, though.
Yeah.
Like that sort of scene is taking over. It's a different vibe. I mean, they're funny, but I like the cynical, jackassery of the New York comic more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement over on the by the Laugh Factory. I know that's over. And then I know Texas is
Rogan's got that whole setup there.
Yeah, in Austin, that's a big place now as well. Well, you'll be in downtown Manhattan on Sunday at the OSNYC. So tell us a little bit more about that event.
So that's more so. It's not actually going to be centered around comedy. It's more just. It's more of like a talent competition per se. Last year, the winner was. I think she was a dancer. I know a lot of people there are going to be dancers. There's going to be a lot of singers. I think I might be the only comedian again.
Okay.
But it's like an anime centered event.
Oh, you know about this, Sandy? If you can't tell by her green hair, she's a huge anime fan. In fact, she has a show here on the station where it's centered around anime music or Japanese music. Right?
Japanese music in general. Yeah, we're currently switching to 9 p.m. every Wednesday. Yeah, I mainly just play a lot of. I do play a lot.
All right, that's enough out of Sandy. All right, Chris.
No, yes, Kawaii Corner Wednesdays at the moment. Wednesdays at 6.
When are you switching?
May 1st officially. Next week, my show isn't going live.
Oh
no!
Yeah, I know you.
What
guys
are we gonna do?
Cry.
Just
Other
you.
things that I can't say in the air.
Yeah.
So So you have the show coming up. When is it, Liam?
This is this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Coming up, April 21st at OSNYC on Bowery in Chinatown.
Yes.
In downtown Manhattan. Chris, I to speak a little bit more and to kind of go back to what we were talking about when it comes to influences, you said Dave Chappelle early on. So do you think like more recently Dave Chappelle, has he gotten, what, you're not as big of a fan of him as you once were, or has his comedy changed? Like what would you say? I
just feel like the topics that he harps on, it's just not necessary. Like he's made jokes about, I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but I mean, he's made jokes about, certain people, certain topics,
right?
Trans folk. And he's made good jokes about them, but I don't know why he has to just continue to kind of state these ideas about how he feels, and
right.
It's like, I don't know.
You want more jokes and less preaching, essentially.
Kind of, but I don't want to just be like, just shut up and tell jokes. But
right.
It's at the same time, it's like it's because he takes an angle that I don't agree with, essentially. But at the same time, he's talking about this for half an hour, and it's like, okay,
it was a lot.
Yes,
that whole special when he was going on about it, it's like, dude. Maybe one or two jokes about it, but come on, the whole special revolved around that. And it wasn't funny. That's what I was more offended by. Patrice O'Neal is one of my favorite comedians of all time. He basically has said anything you could joke about. You could joke about anything. And there's a famous clip on Fox News of him talking about really horrific things that you can joke about. So I'm not for censoring jokes, but if it's not funny, that's more offensive. And if that's going to be your whole shtick, I'm with you. I think his last couple of specials have not been good, but those first couple of specials and the Chappelle Show and Half Baked, I mean, those are some of the best things out there.
Yeah, so like exactly that. The last two, I didn't even finish the last one because like he went back to it and I was like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
But the one before that, it was just like 25 minutes of just a tirade, and I don't want to say just because I don't agree with what he's saying, he shouldn't be able to say it, but at the same time, it's like, how long are we going to do this? You know?
Right. Yeah. No, I happen to agree with you. It's, again, if you do too much of anything, it could be the funniest topic imaginable if you stick around for it, and half the special is just that. Gets old after a little bit. We're joined by Chris Cox, stand-up comedian and TikTok star, originally from Central Islip. He's still out there right now. He's got a total of 800,000 followers on TikTok, over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And on Sunday, he's going to be at the OSNYC on Bowery in downtown Manhattan. So tell us a little bit more about the TikTok side of things. So we referenced this a couple of times, and for anyone listening who's not aware of these TikToks, so you dress up in your brother's military uniform. And that's, I mean, in all honesty, those are my favorite TikToks that you've made. The rest in peace to all the soldiers, and then
funny about that, that video got me banned for a year.
Really?
Oh my God.
I don't even so I've been banned 13 times in total.
Is that why you have two accounts?
Yes, so
That would make a lot more sense.
there's just so many tangents going on right now. So yeah, I got banned on that one, and then I made another one. The other one got traction, and I basically got up to the same point, and then that one got banned. So I sent in, like, I did what you're supposed to get your account back. I sent in a whole bunch of emails, and then I got an email back. They were like, all right, it was a mistake, we got your account back up. And I look, and I was like, nope, still gone. They unbanned the other one because both my usernames were only off by one character, and I put in the other one on accident. And then they fixed both of them, so I had two now at the same amount.
So you should, in total, do you have over 1 million followers?
Not on TikTok. It's like it's probably like 860 or something like that. But then it's like, I'll say that my friends are like, Dad, they're probably duplicates. Yeah, you can probably cut out some bots, maybe like 600 if you're lucky. You know.
I mean, the thrill of having a viral video, because you've had a few that have blown up. What is the thought process like when the first one goes off? Are you just checking it every second? Because I've had a few that have gotten a lot of views, and then you're just constantly, at least I was constantly refreshing, seeing the traction, and then you wake up the next night, and it's like, oh my God, another 100,000 people watch this. I mean, what was the thrill like getting that first viral sensation?
So, I feel like it's also like an ADHD thing of like the need for instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm very much like checking like that and Instagram. A lot of the time I do check my notifications. But the first time it's because my first like big video was like 1.6 million, which is like not a lot of people do that for the first one. You know, and then
that was your first video you put out there, or your first?
Oh no, okay. That was the first viral. I mean, I had one that did like maybe like 100, maybe like 200K likes, but then this was like a few months later. This was like the first like big one that was like getting reposted, and people were like, "Oh my God, I saw you here doing this." So, that after that, it's like, oh, I gotta have another one, and it's hard to recreate something like that. So after a couple months, I got another, I think that when the military stuff started picking up, that's when I got like another million. And I've spoken to some of my friends about this. Another creator, Hunter Kaimi, he's like, ever since he said this, like I realized that it kind of like dulls down that sensation, like the more it happens. And then like, if it's not happening, like you think you're not doing well, and you kind of just, so you'll think you're not doing great if you're not hitting those metrics, and then when you do, you're just like, oh, well, that's another million on to the next one. So.
It's so weird why certain videos, because, you'll make a video that you think is brilliant, and it gets no views, at least in my case, and then you'll put out something so stupid, and that blows up. Why does something like that happen? Why does the algorithm work that way? Do you have to have the right like hashtags, or have you found a formula? I'm assuming all your videos now, since you have so many followers, you're getting probably like 10,000 views at least on every video you put out there.
Not necessarily.
So what do you think is stopping a video from achieving something like that?
Well, I think the big thing with TikTok especially is staying within your niche at the beginning, because I posted a gaming video probably 2 weeks ago, got maybe 1,000 views. So it really depends on, so you kind of just have to throw sensor at the wall and see whatever sticks.
Yeah.
So you have to do that when you're first starting out, and then once you start getting that traction on something, you have to stick with it and you have to drill with it. I mean, you just have to drill it into the ground. I tell everybody that like comes to me wanting to get into content creation, and then they see my page and I'm making a whole bunch of random, like my thing is basically just like comedy. I should cut it down a little bit more to more like specifics, and then if I did that I'd probably be at 1 million, but I just, whatever pops in my head I kind of make.
So would you create like a second channel maybe, because if you want to do gaming stuff, is that something in the future maybe?
Yeah, I think once I eventually do move into, if I go full time, then I would. I think just editing gaming clips right now is just too time consuming.
You do streaming?
Yeah, I stream, and I'm also I'm in school at the moment. So for me to edit gaming clips, I probably could, and then maybe make 1 or 2 videos a week. But for you need to be super consistent to see like movement, unless you get lucky and you have like a couple real big videos to get some followers in. But you have to stay super consistent, and yeah, doing streaming and editing and making videos and doing stand up and school, I think it'd be
and a social life.
Yeah.
So what do you do besides first of all, what games are you playing? Modern games, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do a lot of fighting game stuff, but
New Mortal Kombat or no?
Yep. Mortal Kombat, Tekken. I played Street Fighter when it was out. I don't play too much anymore. But then otherwise, I also do
What
a
about
lot.
Guilty Gear? You play Guilty Gear?
I haven't played Guilty. I don't have anybody to play it with, so that's why I didn't buy it.
Okay, you definitely should though. I love the gameplay.
And I hear the music is great too.
Oh, amazing! I was actually listening to it this morning. Great game.
Is that what you're playing on your Wednesdays?
Kawaii
I
Corner.
actually do sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check
Yeah,
that
I
out.
definitely. There's one that I actually want to load in today, which I'm going to be doing later. So.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, I can't help but wonder, what are you studying in school? If you don't mind me
nursing.
asking. What?
Nursing.
Oh, wonderful! That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I got my LPN. I'm getting my RN right now.
Okay,
Very
great.
nice. So look at this guy. He's making people laugh. He's going to be helping people
Making
out.
people not die.
Yeah.
You could be like Patch Adams. You ever seen that movie with Robin Williams?
That is so funny because my professor, she was like, "Oh, you guys need to watch this movie. It's so great." Never got around.
It's
to
not
it.
good.
Oh,
No, it's very corny. Oh, he puts on a red nose and helps a little girl with cancer. All right, it's really not funny, and it's not heartwarming. It's just like trying to tug at heartstrings, but it fails. I love Robin Williams. I mean, talk about an influence, but a lot of his movies are hit or miss. For every Good Will Hunting, there's 5 Bicentennial Men, which is just a terrible movie.
Well, you're the second person to tell me I should check it out, so I'll get around to it.
Maybe. I would recommend Good Will Hunting. Have you seen that one?
I have not. I'm slacking on my.
What are you doing? What are you watching? Are you watching any cartoons, shows, movies, anything? The new X-Men show, which is amazing.
I feel like I've been kind of slacking on, like, I mean, it's funny to say slacking, like it's part of my job, but I guess media consumption is part of my job, but I have been slacking on like the TV and movies and anime, just because I think the main thing I consume is like just like social media, so that's like I try and keep in with that more than anything. So like towards the end of the day, I'll try and get some TV in when I can. Just to try and keep up with everything. But yeah, I am falling behind with movies. I mean, I saw Dune. Dune was great.
Yeah, very good.
But I'm not seeing too many movies a year, maybe like 5 or 6.
Wow.
Not a whole lot of TV.
I saw 103 movies in theaters last year.
God, Justin.
Cow.
I have mental health issues. I don't have a social life either. But I took these guys. Who didn't go? Addison. You didn't go.
Addison.
I took them to see Field of Dreams, one of my favorite movies. They re-released it in theaters. It's like a baseball movie from the late 80s.
That one I saw.
If you build it, they will come.
They will come.
They will come. Yeah.
They will come. Yeah, I have a question over here on this side of the room. Yeah.
I can't see your face, but I'll answer it.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm sure. Now, you mentioned earlier when it comes to TikTok, people come to you with ideas all the time. I'm just curious, is there like a notorious person who just comes to you all the time with this horrible, horrendous ideas? Like that one guy.
You should eat a bunch of ketchup, man. All right, buddy.
I feel like
his name's this Heinz fan number 1.
Dan Schneider, just cover your feet with ketchup and then dance with your toes in front of the camera.
I feel like the awful ideas more so come from stand-up like when people know you do stand up, they're like you'll just hear like either something funny will happen or they'll tell you something funny that happened at work. You'll be like, oh, you should add that to a bit. I'm like, all right, yeah, thanks, man. But as far as videos go, I think a lot of my friends have come to me with stuff, and then like I said before about just like having a lot of stuff on the back burner. It's not that I don't want to do it, but I either don't think that I'll be able to execute it well enough that it will like do myself and them justice. So, or I just forget about it, you know? So like I would like to, but sometimes it's like a lot of my friends be like, hey, do this, you should try this, do this. Like, oh yeah, thanks. But it just might not fit with like what I'm doing currently.
Right. What is the normal process for making a video? Is it written out? Is it something that, you do multiple takes in? Is it a quick thing? Because with TikTok, you can make a video in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or you could plan it out. I've seen some very like lavish sets made, and obviously script writing for some of these people. Is your stuff more improv and just quick, or is it thought out with like a storyboard sort of thing?
I'd say it's more so improv. Most of my stuff is pretty quick. So on my other channel, I do more ranting. So they have a system where you can get paid if your videos are over a minute. And
really?
Yeah. So I don't do too many videos that end up being over a minute on my main page, but the one where the videos are over a minute, I just do like kind of like rants, and those are more so off the cuff. I mean, I do a lot of takes because I also have I guess I have like a certain way that these videos are made where I guess I'll be like more energetic, loud, certain deliveries. So I try and do that on the ranting ones and keep it more specific to like how I normally do those, and like again the algorithm. So if I keep everything the same, it's going to go out to the same people. But as far as the skits, those are a lot easier to make. I usually don't storyboard them or script them just because of how short they are. I can remember everything in my head unless the vocabulary is like very specific that I want to deliver.
Do you have help with the filming of this stuff, or is it you filming it by yourself, or do you have like friends join in and help you out, or family?
Only if the video really calls for it.
Yeah.
Most of the time I wait until everybody in my house is asleep to record. I mean, my first viral video I had my sister in it. She did help me record that one.
So yeah, you just take a bowl of bananas, you prop the phone up next to it, and you're like, all right, here we go, 3, 2, 1.
I actually ended up buying a tripod. I was like, if I'm going to be doing this
Wow,
every
look at
day
you.
for years, I might as well invest in something. So
All right, well, there we go. There's a start for Chris. And by the way, we are with Chris Cox, stand-up comic and TikTok star. Coming up in just a couple of minutes after some Nicki Minaj and Lil Uzi Vert, we are going to be talking about some animated characters with Chris because, the director for the new SpongeBob movie confirmed that there will be nudity in the upcoming 2025 The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants.
now this might be a movie that I need to go see.
Yes. All right, so on the other
In
side,
3D.
on the other side of Everybody by Nicki Minaj and Lil Uzi Vert, we'll get into that with Chris Cox on the Nassau Morning Madhouse.